Hello and welcome everybody to Player 4 Productions coverage of the 30th annual Texas State Disc Golf Championship, supported by Innova. This event, of course, hosted by the Houston Flying Disc Society, Gorilla Disc Golf, and HDG. I'm AJ Cueve along with my partner, Darren Young. What's going on, man?
Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun event. It's supposed to be a wet weekend, so it's gonna be fun to see players try to deal with the conditions we're gonna be dealing with. And for today's round, we're gonna be at Brock Park on the east side of Houston. Formerly was a golf course that was turned into a disc golf course. That's just a really cool course. It does take a lot of the wooded elements, and you know it is a golf course. Of course, there's plenty of open shots, but plenty of tunnel shots as well, plenty of wooded elements as well. So it's gonna be a fun round. So let's go ahead and check out who's on our card today. We're starting off with Garrett Gurthie. You know him, you love him, the Crusher out of Florida. Excited to be able to film him during this round. So excited to see how he plays this course. And moving on to Gavin Phillips, a newer face for me, but you probably know him from having two aces recently at the Open at Austin. He had two aces in one tournament, which is insane. Good for him. Also, incredible lock of hair. I mean, I'll just say that now. And then of course, moving on to Chris Harris. He's been playing disc golf for such a long time at a high level. Been 1,000 rated for like nearly 15 years. So really excited to see how he plays the course. And he's out of near Austin. So, you know, not too far away from Houston. And then finally we got Logan Plake. He's not been playing quite as long. I've been playing professionally for about the last 5 years or so. But he crushes. He's got a big forehand, big backhand. Fun to see him attack the course as well.
For sure. We got a really fun card here at the Brock Gold. There are two courses here at Brock Park, but the MPO card is going to be playing exclusively at the Gold version. So let's go ahead and get to the first hole. Yeah,
hole one is a par 4, 717 feet. And this right here is kind of the defining tree. You're going to see players go left or right of it. Left with probably a turnover backhand, potentially also some forehand you'll see. But yeah, just pick a side. Some guys might go hyzer just to control their speed, but otherwise you're just trying to get as much distance as you can. There is OB both left and right. You can see flags on the left side of the screen there. And then there's that one tree on the left of the marking. That's the mandatory tree. So you got to stay right of that tree as you approach. So any shots that kind of fade out early, kind of pinch yourself off. Around here is around 400-foot shot, so it doesn't require a ton of power to get to a good spot. But then the challenge of this hole really is the second shot. It requires about a 300-foot shot, low ceiling, and the green is very tight. It's on either side, probably no more than 30 feet on either side of the green. So really requires you to control your speed coming to the green. But it's certainly one that they're looking to get. But off the rip, you know, it's a nervy tee shot. You got this tree you can hit early and go out of bounds left. You gotta really be looking for something consistent. Starting out with Garrett Gurthie going with a destroyer. Looks good so far. Yeah, just a simple like 420-foot hyzer, no worries. He'll be in great shape for a second.
Gavin Phillips.
And there's that beautiful hair.
Exactly. I was just thinking, got the Troy Polamalu of disc golf here.
I don't know what the equivalent of like sun's out, guns out is, but whatever it is for hair is what he's going with.
The humidity is probably doing a lot of work for him. Looks great.
It could be.
Let's see if his form is just as good as his hair. I like the slow little run up there.
Yeah, super smooth. And he's going for that turnover flex line. Gonna get a little more distance. Yeah, and he'll be in good shape as well. Same low ceiling shot for a second. Here's Chris. I think he's going DD3 off this tee box, but yeah, I was surprised to learn he's been playing since like 04, 05. Like and professionally, like at 1,000 rated level. So he just really long time pro, consistent. This is looks a little early left. And it's going to be close. Oh, it is out of bounds.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and it was going to be tough.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said the OB is actually inside of where the path is. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like a little bit off the path there. But the thing that's going to be tough for Chris there is he also has that mandatory tree to still deal with. So he's going to be pinched off on his approach.
A little low.
Yeah. you can just tell how hard Logan throws. That's gonna be rolling out of bounds. And just need a little more height. I mean, maybe there's a possibility to get up and down from here. It would take an incredible hero shot.
Yeah, that big tree in front of him is cutting off the height, so he's just got to go low and hope it really comes in and skips.
Yeah, that never really had enough left or right to left movement. So he's going to be throwing his 4th from down the fairway. Probably looking at a 6 at best from there at this point.
Right there at the Mando. Not sure if that's the better position or a worse position if you want to be that close to the tree.
No, yeah, I think he's really pinched off. He can't really approach much, and he's just got to throw this like little fairway shot. I think that's the right play. I mean, you just can't really get much more than that. If you got much more aggressive than that, he would be very easily putting himself out of bounds. So that's the right play. Now Gurthie's going to show us where good drives land, and the reward. I think he's going with this Vino T-Bird here, probably like 320 to the pin.
Come on, keep turning.
Looks good. Turning nicely. Yeah, you'll have like 25 feet. Gavin from a bit closer, maybe. I think he's going with a Reco here.
Yeah, look, he's going for that turnover as well.
That's good. Look.
That looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, 20 feet or so. Nice work.
Very nice, right at the pen.
Yep, no worries there. I think I said that he was throwing his 4th there. That's actually, he's throwing his 5th, so yeah, he'll be tapping in 6. Chris, no problem, tap in his par. Let's see if Garrett can start off strong.
A little left.
Yeah, I mean, you got the height. Just didn't quite get the speed on it right.
Oh, that was...
That was maybe a little left, but feels like it probably should have stuck. Like, it got a lot of chains.
Yeah, it hung in there for like a fraction of a second.
Yeah, and like you saw the chains kind of extend a little bit. I mean, these are temporary baskets. I mean, this is a temporary course, so they're just kind of like, they're just on stands. And so I feel like the chains are actually like a little lighter. Like you can kind of see how much they extended out. But anyways, mostly no harm done. I mean, obviously Logan getting the 6 there, but no problem. So moving on to hole 2, this is a 2 option hole, either through the center here, the drone's flying, or off to the left with the forehand. We're flying over this big river. Probably should not come into play for most players, but certainly can if you hit early. And then of course around the green you can see the little hazard areas. So if you land in those little bunkers, then you just take it where it lies with the stroke. And of course there is out of bounds wrapped around the back as well if you go too far. And this is, for all you disc collectors out there, this is a 8-time proto rock that Gurthie's throwing. Like 20-year-old disc. It's super cool.
Good control. Narrowly avoids the hazard there. Good for him.
Yeah, and barely stays in bounds too, only a couple feet. Probably the advantage of throwing a mid-range there instead of some other kind of driver.
Yeah, very controlled hole. Technical, yes, but just definitely you got to really thread the needle here.
Gavin going to show off his forehand. And this gap on the left looks much bigger on camera. Like that little tree on the left side, like, really makes you think.
Big skip.
Gavin probably about the same distance, maybe a little longer from his last putt. But you really, like, the gap looks way bigger on camera than it does in real life. Like, it's not just a simple forehand. And Logan looks to turn it over.
Yeah, tree snagged it. Ooh, looks like it could have dropped into the
Yeah, he did drop into
the
that river. So he'll be throwing 3 from down there. Chris going with a current from Meridian here. Going for that backhand turnover. This is a much touchier line too, in my opinion, than the forehand.
He's got the flip.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll have edge of circle putt, maybe 40 feet.
Well, it looks like he stayed in bounds.
No, he fell in bounds. He fell out of bounds. He's
Okay.
just taking it from where he was last in. Yeah, so he's got
Gotcha.
this uphill throw.
That looks great. Holy cow.
Wow, great effort.
Yeah, very good run.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, maybe more like 60 actually. Ooh, wow, great run.
That was a touchy one, too.
Logan got a big putt.
Very
big
nice.
Putt coming back. We saw him out on the outside of the circle, probably 35-ish.
Yeah, and this is the scary part, too, because you got that drop off right
Ooh.
there.
And yeah, he's going to have a similar putt coming back. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
again.
no.
These baskets do not like Gavin.
Gavin, that one was probably even better than the last putt. Rough.
Yeah, the putting is really challenging our card so far.
Yeah. Logan playing a little bit of yo-yo golf right here.
No, and another
and
one.
then that one didn't stay. That one probably was a little left, but so far, basket's not doing our card any favors.
Yeah, I can't imagine what. Yeah, there you go. At least that one stuck in. Can't imagine what that does to your confidence hole too, and just the baskets getting a bit of fight on you. Also, I mean,
Well, it just
they are
makes
hitting a bit left.
Yeah, but I mean, Gavin so far has been the first putt was left, second putt was basically on the pole. It definitely just shakes your confidence on the next putt. Like you don't want to putt too hard, you don't want to bounce back at you or that kind of thing. So yeah, it certainly shakes your confidence. But on to hole 3, this is one of the tougher holes on the course. No OB left side into the woods, but there is OB right. It's almost a 900-foot par 4 with lots of elevation. So on this first shot, it's pretty simple. Just throw it hard, throw it and see where it goes. This little hill right here we're coming up on, the beginning of it's around 400 feet, and then right at the edge here is around 470. So anything in there is going to be in great shape. Then you got this big creek that we're flying over here. So it kind of makes you make a decision on the second shot depending on how far your drive is. Otherwise, you're just trying to get up on this massive hill. Trying to control speed on this green with any like backhand hyzers is really tough. Lots of right to left movement. So you're definitely rewarded by getting extra distance off the tee, so you can throw some a little slower coming into the green. And here's that same destroyer from Garrett, showing what he does best.
Big bomb.
Again, a simple 450-foot hyzer, and he'll be just fine for a second.
So yeah, that approach is gonna really make or break because the positioning for the approach is. You saw how huge. I don't know if the camera is really gonna show you how incredibly.
It's a massive hill.
Yeah, it's a very steep hill is what I'm getting at. With OB like right at the, right behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like that's the thing I was saying in kind of the intro is that it is a golf course, but for Texas, that's some pretty severe undulation on the greens and in the fairways and stuff, and that definitely comes into play when you're thinking about how to approach a shot. Is the elevation of where you're currently standing and where you're coming into. And let's see Chris's drive here. I think he's going that same
Going
DD3.
to the right.
Looks good.
Like it flipped really well. Just out.
Yeah,
just past
Chris showing
Gavin.
off his distance. Yeah, probably like a 440-foot shot.
Yeah, this is the spot for Logan to make up that ground because he bombs pretty hard too. So let's see if he can outthrow the rest of the card.
Good shot.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I mean, everyone in decent shape off the tee. I mean, if you don't get around 400, maybe 450 off this tee box, then you're probably not even considering getting a birdie on this hole. And all these guys obviously have that power, so it's no problem. Gavin
Pretty good place.
doesn't quite get it to flip, but yeah, 50-footer, probably first birdie. Oh, Chris.
Oh,
flips it
big
over.
flippy.
Yeah.
Right onto the path.
Yeah, that's the problem too. If those you're trying to add extra distance to the shot to get to the
Oh,
green.
no, that's going to fade too much.
Yeah, here goes Logan. Probably going out of bounds. Yeah, short left. But yeah, as you're trying to add more power, then it's going to turn more, and you know that's the problem with trying to throw these massive shots. And then people like Garrett just throwing
Big ol'
hyzer. Yeah, no problem. Can control the shape the whole way. Same
Yeah.
destroyer, edge of circle, no problem. You'll have that.
If he has the power, yeah, it's definitely a great way to get it to stick on that hill.
Nice approach from Chris.
Yeah,
Can
good
secure
placement too.
his.
See that soft sand he dug into.
So that should get Chris's
Looks like
bogey
he's
from there.
out of the
Logan,
circle.
here's the hill. This is a great idea of the hill.
And he drills it.
Wow, Logan.
Talk about that's got to be a nice catch 22. Like hopefully his morale just got boosted there. Would have been nice, I'm sure, if he would have
Absolutely
landed a little better.
mean,
But I mean, look at this.
Yeah, what he had, you know, like whatever, the 3 or 4 putts in the last hole that were all way easier than that one.
Yeah.
So it feels, I'm sure that feels good to drop that one in. Gavin with a nice run.
Right now, he's just thinking, do not hit left.
Yeah, anything sky left is going to be
It's
okay.
good,
No
good
problem.
angle.
Yep. And this actually played as the 3rd hardest hole in the course during this round, with only 8 birdies in the field. So getting par is no problem here, which most of our card will be getting here. It just takes 2 really, really high quality shots to get birdie here. To even give yourself a look at birdie, and then probably more often than not, you're probably making a good putt as well.
For sure, yeah. You need an incredible drive and an incredible approach to really to kill this hole.
The one thing that's kind of interesting about this course is that the grass actually... Oh, well, let's take a quick look at the leaderboard, actually. We got GT, Jakub Napik, and Seth Talbot all leading the field 200 through 3. A great start. And then some familiar faces, like we know, Mason Ford, and then Garrett and Gavin, all as well in the top 10. So, you know, a solid showing from our card so far, and we'll see how the rest of the field continues going into the as we continue through the front 9. But as I was saying, so with this course has some pretty thick grass, and so oftentimes you can throw shots that you feel should skip, you know, with the right angle, and they just don't. And so, you know, on that last green, that definitely comes into play. But moving on now to hole 4, this is a 400-foot par 3 with it's kind of like a skinny hyzer line, and you want to be inside this tree on the right, and there is OB on the left and OB on the right. So you might see some people go high over the top of the trees. Most people are going to go for the low route and just try to come in before the trees. Anything that goes out of bounds in this hole goes to that drop zone from about like 80 feet or so.
Always scary to throw these blind shots.
Yeah, that is a great point. It is totally blind from the tee box. I mean, they have a pretty good idea as to where it is, but for the most part, they are just kind of throwing at the out of bounds and then wanting their disc to fade. And Gavin going with his loots here. It's like a Undertaker type disc.
I like how calm and controlled he is when he does that.
Yeah, very
walk up.
compact for sure.
And he's inside.
Right on the edge.
Yeah. We'll count it.
Yeah, we're just barely in bounds. Logan taking a similar route to
Let's see if
Garrett.
he can get
We'll see if
through
he
the trees.
Yeah. He
That'll
gets around the
work.
backside. Yeah, nice.
I'm very
I
curious
think
about
I-
these what's I forgot what that's called.
The tee box?
The tee box, yes. Looks like they
Yeah.
recycled it from like a football.
Yeah, that happens a
or
lot on
something.
temporary courses or new courses and stuff. They just like borrow some local high school
OB.
football, and Chris goes out of bounds there. But yeah, I think that
Interesting.
happens quite a bit.
Very cool.
But yeah, here's Garrett from the drop zone, like I said, from about 80 feet or so.
Woo!
Ooh, great run. Great run. Chris will be joining him here shortly as well. But I think that the route in this play is that inside route because It's definitely the more touchy route, but it requires no luck. You know, we saw Gavin's shot just go straight through. You know, he was kind of close to the out of bounds, but you just throw the shot and it gets somewhere in bounds most of the time, I think.
Good run.
Wow, nice from
Wow,
Chris,
both
too.
guys hit metal.
And
Yeah, right
Gavin's-
there on that line, that
Yeah.
OB line.
Oh.
It's like our cards really honing in now and they're putting.
Well, and Gavin's already kind of mentally probably made 2 putts, you
Very
know,
true.
like on hole 1 and 2. And so that one probably felt good as well. I mean, at least in that case, that wasn't the basket rejecting him. That was just, you know, a little high, but good to see. I mean, it's still a confident run, you know, like he didn't leave it short, didn't, you know, weenie out on it, you know.
Very
So,
true.
Logan for his par. There you go. Little dejected reaction there. Just
Yeah, he's just
probably.
like, he's
Yeah,
ready to
why
move
can't I
on.
make the birdie ones? Why can't I make it for birdie? You know, you're making all the par putts, but just can't
Hey
make
man,
any
he
birdie
gives
putts.
us the clip putts though, the ones that are going to be in the
Yeah,
reels.
exactly.
There you go. A parked tee shot into a tap in is no fun to watch on an Instagram reel. All right, we're looking for those giant circle 2 uphill putts.
Hole 5 is a 351-foot par 3. You got 2 options: left with a forehand, more commonly probably in the right side here with the backhand. Really, the challenge of this hole is the green. You know, there's not much to be said about anything to be to this point, but it's just the green has this massive drop off. So you're gonna see people probably throw overstable fairway drivers, potentially maybe some guys throwing mid ranges, and only for that reason, just to control the speed, because as we get to right here, you can see the massive drop off behind the basket, and there's OB down there. So like if you come into the green with any amount of speed, any amount of angle, you're putting yourself in a position where you might just roll down to the out of bounds. And so a lot of them are probably trying to play short of this basket and then just make a putt. Some of them might be going for the park job, but it's just a very risky proposal in that case. Gavin going for this backhand line. Looking solid.
That's about as good as you can get.
I mean, yeah, I can't imagine he's asking for much more than that. He might even be closer than he wants to be. I'm sure he's going to be glad to have a 10-footer, but I don't know if he's wanting to be 10 foot from the basket. Logan.
Hugging the trees, and it looks like the tree's got a piece.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Just a little turned. He probably just going to be laying that up for par. Okay, let me say this. If he runs that for birdie, then he's crazier. I mean, who was that? You know, a few weeks ago when we did that round at River's Edge.
Yeah.
Isaac, that was his name. That guy was crazy. All right, Garrett going also. I think he's going X-Cal here. Caught some trees on the way out. Yeah, he's going to be pretty short. Similar layup distance. Chris also going for the backhand line. Looks like some
Yeah.
kind of fairway driver. It's the bigger gap. I think that it's probably the right gap for most players.
Yeah, just getting over that little drop off right there.
Ooh, he's gonna have a decision to make. That's probably right on the edge of where you want your running putts. So we'll see what he chooses there.
Smart move.
Yeah, well played from Logan, and a great job of controlling the angle too. Just no chance of it getting up and rolling.
Ooh, a little saucy with that stump. Really.
That
Yeah,
that
stump
could have gotten
saved him.
spooky. This is like 45 feet probably.
He runs it. Oh,
Wow,
let's go.
it's top right too.
Tell you, the risky biscuits, man. They give you rewards
Yeah, I mean,
until they screw you, but no, good on him.
what a huge putt. Wow.
That's a very
That
good
is-
angle.
Yeah. That's a solid putt. Gavin also able to get his birdie.
Well earned birdie. Great shot off the tee.
And this surprisingly came in as the 3rd easiest hole on the course. Like,
Really? With how flirty the OB and the drop-off is?
Sure,
That's
for
crazy.
sure. I'm sure there are plenty of guys in the field that are, talking about how unlucky they got on this hole because they hit near the basket and rolled down, whatever. But yeah, I mean, 22 of the 55 players getting a birdie on that hole, so definitely one you want to get. Moving on to hole 6, which is a 600 foot par 4. The tee shot super demanding, really tight tunnel, and also uphill. So just getting out and getting safe is objective 1. Getting anything around the corner is a huge victory. You got OB on the left side, and then nothing on the right side, just a bunch of thick woods. So anything around here probably is a really good drive, probably around 400 foot drive, and then you have around 250 feet for your second shot coming into the screen. There is OB on the left side, and there's OB behind as well. But realistically, probably doesn't come into play a lot on the second shot, as long as you throw a decently controlled shot. So just really, I think that this hole is all about the tee shot, just getting in bounds and giving yourself a chance to throw a second shot. You can kind of see how tight this gap is.
Yeah, tight and low. Especially for how high you want to get this
exactly,
hyzer.
Moving uphill for sure.
Because you want it to hug in, because it looks like he's really heading towards that OB. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gone out of bounds. That path you can see there is the out of bounds line. So, you obviously, of course, you're trying to get as much distance off the tee and trying to flip something up because you're going uphill.
Yeah.
Chris rolls.
Probably wanted a little more out.
But as you're trying to flip things up, then you're putting that out of bounds line in play.
Yeah. A trickier hole than it looks like, because, yeah, really, you want to power like these guys here with these big bombing forehands, but you're just going to send it OB.
Oh, this is going to be close.
Almost takes you out.
Yep.
Oh,
count. No, Logan.
That's a heartbreaker.
Just like a foot out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't even think he knows. He's like, is that out of bounds? And Garrett's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Hard to
Garrett
tell.
going with the same destroyer from earlier. He committed to the turn.
That's a big turn. That's great. That's probably a little bit more out, but that is, as far as distance goes.
Yeah, I mean, he might want to be left of where he just landed, but he's got plenty of distance where he can make that work for a second.
Another turnover. It's diving. Tree got a piece.
That seemed like it had enough legs to get maybe edge of circle 2, maybe. So just turned it a bit much.
I appreciate his style. I don't see. Does he throw many forehands? I feel like he's only thrown backhands.
Yeah, I don't recall him throwing a forehand while we filmed him. We'll see if he does, and I just forgot. But it's Gavin
circle.
Yeah, he's got like 35 to save his par. But yeah, Chris is. I think it's just like a savvy veteran that, like all you noobs that are throwing forehands. No thanks. I'm just gonna throw my backhands and show you how it's done. Ooh,
come back, please.
Yeah, I wonder if that was it looked like he threw it okay. I think it was just the disc. I think that disc kind of wasn't quite as stable as he thought. Yeah. So he'll be throwing 5 from there.
Look at this nice control.
Garrett is
shot.
so good at these shots. He's
and
so good
right
at these.
there.
Like really high turning anhyzers. Those are so fun to watch, and he's so good at them.
Nice gentle little layup here.
Yeah,
right at the pin.
Chris get his par. Now Gavin for his par.
Beautiful.
Ooh, wow. But I mean, even that putt, yeah, that putt looked to be centered, and
like
still kind of worked backwards a little bit. Oh my goodness, that fell out.
Yeah, thank God the rim of the basket, the cage part, managed to snag it in.
Yep, a great putt from Gavin either way. Gets his par, great save. There's Garrett. Gets the first birdie of the round for him. Nice work. Anhyzer, and then makes the putt. Nice job. Even that one. Like it seems like the chains are just not really like catching the weight of the disc all that well. I don't know if they're just lighter or what, but
Yeah,
probably, I mean, I would assume portable. Probably you don't want to have like 200-pound chains, but
true.
no.
we
Leaderboard
got
through
a
6. Yeah, a bunch of people all tied up at 3 under. Charlie Moore, familiar face for South Texas players, GT, and then Jakub Napik from Czechoslovakia. Mason Ford. Yeah, it's definitely close through 6. This course certainly allows for a lot of scoring separation, and so we'll see how it continues into the rest of the front 9 and the first round. Moving on to hole 7, which is one of the neater shots on the course, in my opinion. It's certainly one of the easier holes, but just visually and also just the shot required is a really neat little hole. It's 300 foot uphill, par 3. Most guys throwing mid ranges around the left side there where the drone's flying, and then just trying to get up here and just give yourself a putt. It's nothing super intimidating, but just a really fun wooded shot on what otherwise is a pretty open course.
Yeah. Quick correction though, that European player is from the Czech Republic, not Czechoslovakia, not anymore.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you for that.
A little bit of social studies coming in. Looks for another turnover shot, but got a tree kick there that kicked him, and looks like he stayed. There's no OB on the left, correct?
There is no OB. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, in fact, this is the easiest hole on the course. 24 players getting birdie on this hole, and so definitely one you want to get to stay in contention. Gavin going with that same low Reco from earlier.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I see a lot of pros throwing putters on this hole. I remember, I believe it was 2 years ago, you and I saw Raven Newsom throwing his glitch off this hole.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, it's
that looks great.
There you go, Chris. Great job. Yeah, definitely. Like, and this actually is a P3 from Logan as well. So these big crushers, I mean, you don't have any other option. If you're throwing 500 feet with drivers, then you gotta, the slowest disc you throw, it goes 300 feet. So that's just the way it goes whenever you're crushing.
Very true. Logan here out playing the cameraman, and he caught us a bit off guard here, but you see he got it himself.
He's a fast player. He's a fast player. More than one time that we couldn't catch up to Logan how quick he plays. So edge of circle 1 for his par.
A little low.
Gavin from about 15 or so. There you go. Nice.
It looks like these guys who do these nice, strong, confident putts, it's almost backfiring on them. Looks like you got to feather. Ooh, missed a bit wide there. You really got to feather these putts. Here, these chains seem a little, what's the right way to describe them? Like loosey-goosey? I don't know what the right
term
is.
They're just not really, they're
not absorbing a lot.
Right. There's Chris. Nice birdie from him. Garrett to come back for his par after that little mishap there. For bogey. I apologize because he actually hit early off the tee. That's right.
Logan, a little bit frustration there, but you don't get flirty with those putts even at that range.
And he had mentioned to us before that he didn't really spend a lot of time. He's not played on coverage much, and this is a big tournament, so I'm sure he's probably a little nervy playing with
Oh yeah, I can't imagine. Stuff, shout out to any guys who are playing on coverage with cameras in your face and behind your face. It's very self-conscious.
Hole 8's a par 5. This little hill on the left side is about 600 feet, so you won't see many guys going much farther than this, or probably not at all. It really just requires 400 or so foot shots. So anything more than that on your first and second is going to give you a much easier time on your third. This is one of the easiest holes on the course, even at being a 1,200 foot par 5. OB is pretty forgiving on both sides, so just staying in the fairway probably gets you a par most of the time, and then could give you an outside luck and birdie. Unless you're a longer thrower, then you're probably looking to birdie this hole most of the time. So
great opportunity for our bombers on the card.
Absolutely.
Even I love how slow his walk up is, even when he's bombing a wide open par 5.
For sure. Yeah, that's about a 450 foot shot, and it looks like he just threw a putter 200 feet. And yeah, he just has that really compact and nice slow walk up, and very controlled.
Same thing.
Chris,
Flip
nice
up.
flip. Very nice.
About the same. Right on the base of the hill.
Chris definitely no slouch when it comes to distance.
Got a big old run up here. See, it's still that's gonna go far.
Yeah, that's nearly up to the hill, so probably like 550. Just breaks that out.
Woo! What a snap.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, 450 to 500 foot, no problem, it seems.
Goes
It
wide
looked like he was
out.
trying to go off to the right side and didn't quite get it wide enough.
Yeah, tree got a piece.
So he's probably still got like 450 from there, or maybe
Kind of a
more.
trickier play here because, like, where do you decide to go? Because you can't really hug the outsides too much, but the
I
insides.
think people
got
just do what
trees
Logan
everywhere.
do. I think
Just
that's
throw
what
it
they're doing.
and just hope.
Yeah, he's just throwing it up there. I think that most guys are just like crushing a big turnover like that into the sky.
Sure.
Because again, the OB is fairly forgiving, and so I mean, unless they really miss their line, miss their angle, I mean, it's going to go down there 400 feet or so, and then they'll make it work on the third.
Very true.
We'll see what Gavin does. Gavin actually looks like he might be going for the low route. We'll see.
Oh, tree.
He actually got pretty fortunate.
That was close.
I mean, because he hit pretty early and
Yeah.
didn't really take off much speed. So he'll have probably 300 feet or so for his third.
Yeah, he still got a birdie opportunity.
Garrett might be looking for eagle here.
Whoa, that is the biggest turnover I think I've ever seen. Oh, man. Count that for two. And Garrett's
Yeah.
trying to kill you, dude.
I don't think that. I think that tree took off 100 or more feet from that shot. Like
He might have been under the pin. Yeah.
I think Garrett absolutely can. I mean, no question he can get eagle putts in this hole. I think that we almost saw one.
That's looking
That looks
really
great.
good. And trying it
And
once
yet
again.
again, yeah,
You're
third.
a disc magnet, dude. Stand behind the pin.
Yeah, Chris still has an outside look for his birdie too after an early hit on the second. Here comes Gavin with a fairly routine hyzer forehand.
Stick.
This great shot.
Perfect.
Tap in.
Such
For
control.
the second birdie, yeah. Here's Logan. Just throw it in.
Yeah, that looks
Wow.
really freaking good. Woo.
Well, that's fine. That'll be an easy tap in for Logan to get off the bogey train. Get his first birdie of the round. Here with a fairly simple approach. Ooh.
Yeah, a
Leaves
little
it-
left.
Yeah, and pretty short too. Like I think he's probably at edge circle after, getting a huge second shot. Ooh,
That looks really good.
nice run from Chris. Yeah, it's like a 30-footer. Definitely more than. Yeah.
Just hasn't zeroed in yet.
I mean, it's obviously you feel bad about the putt, but I feel like Garrett would probably tell you that he lost that stroke on the approach. I mean,
Sure, yeah.
he's only probably 200 feet away, and to put himself at 30 feet, that's just asking a lot of your putter.
Very true.
Nice job from Logan and Gavin getting birdies. Yeah, this average is 4.87, so just barely under par. But certainly one that the top of the field is looking to get.
For sure.
Otherwise, no harm, no foul. Couple of birdies, couple of pars. Move on to the last hole of the front nine. Hole 9 is a 360-foot par 3, and it is a tricky one. He's got OB on left and on the right and behind. Kind of just wraps the entire hole. And it is very tight. Any tree kicks almost certainly go out of bounds. If you throw it low and it cut rolls, definitely going out of bounds. So really, it just requires a very, very touchy finesse shot.
You just see water everywhere too.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
The rain and stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, it rained quite a bit, the days leading up to the event, and we expected some rain during the weekend. No rain to this point in the round, but I think Gavin's going with that iDog from Castoplast, like a T-bird type disc.
Low and controlled. Watch this. Oh, please. A little more sauce than I think you wanted. Stays in bounds. Count
number 4 of, right. Nearly getting hit. But yeah, just like a little 7-speed just throws it 400 feet, no problem, in the low ceiling. Logan, that looks good. Work back. Oh, that's frustrating. Ugh. Yeah, if he gets that skip, he's probably within 15 feet, probably. That's an unfortunate. But, I mean, frankly, the fact that he hit the tree and didn't go out of bounds also is a pretty good victory, but he wasn't far off from getting another birdie there.
Very
Chris,
true.
that was almost certainly going out of bounds. I think that tree helped him a lot. Garrett going with that same T-bird from earlier, looks like. But this is a hole that I know that even like when the Pro Tour came through here, there were plenty of pros that weren't even trying to get birdies on this hole because it's so tight. Like,
that looks really good.
Garrett.
That'll work.
Yeah, he'll be probably around the same distance, maybe 40 feet or so. But it just requires so much finesse coming into the green. Any skips, any left-right movement probably gets you out of bounds. So it's just one of those holes that you're happy to get, but not really necessarily like looking to get before round starts.
A little high, but
Ooh.
he had everything else looked great, just a little high.
Yeah. Garrett not able to get the long ones to fall yet. Gavin coming back from like 40 feet or so.
Ooh.
Little off right.
Yeah, good run.
Oh, still rolling. Yeah. Put him to about 20 or so. And this hole did average as the 6th hardest hole of the round. Logan unable to get his comebacker to fall. And take another bogey.
Very true. Luckily, our players didn't have to worry too much about OB, but yeah, that's a big problem, I'm sure, for most of the other players.
Yeah, and I think it mostly just because, I mean, it's 50% of the field took par on this hole. So most of the field probably maybe not even looking to get birdie in the hole or, just throwing a shot that keeps them in bounds, that kind of thing. So not a whole lot of scoring spread on the hole and not a whole lot of birdies. So I think it just kind of was one of those holes that if you get a birdie, you're happy about it, but you're not really you're not dying to get it either.
Good putt.
Yep. Nice comeback from Gavin. Gavin stayed clean. 3 birdies, the rest pars, and 2 putts early in the round that probably should have fell. So easily could be 5 under at this point.
Very true.
And that is our front 9. So let's take a quick look at the leaderboard through 9 holes. Charlie Moore with a great start, 6 under through 9 holes. GT Hancock, Mason Ford right behind him. And then Gavin, only a few strokes back from them. So plenty of golf to be had. I think that the back 9 and front 9 are fairly equal in terms of difficulty. So we'll see how the guys approach the back 9. And we'll see if there's any weather that changes as well. Like I said, there has been plenty of rain over the last few days in Houston at this point. So at worst, or at best, we're gonna see some more squishy feet, those kind of things. At worst, maybe some more rain. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. So join us on the back 9 and stay tuned for our round 2 and round 3 coverage coming here in the next few days. Please, if you want to support Player 4 Productions, you can follow us on our link tree in the description of this video. Subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff on the social medias. It helps us to be able to go to more events like this. And until next time, everybody, bye.